we are aware of the dramatic destruction of Twin Towers purportedly using passenger planes labeled as 9/11 event. Here, 9 refers to the month it happened and 11 refers to the date. Is it called 9/11 just because of the date it happened? No. This particular date was specifically chosen for the event. How do I say? For over 40 years, prior to September 11, 2001, this 9/11 carnage had been predicted through many movies, cartoon serials, etc., which means that these dates were symbolic representation of something else. That clearly means that the number 9 and 11 have some other significance, and that significance is clandestinely expressed through these dates. Many people had advanced conspiracy theories on 9/11, stating that it was an inside job aimed at waging war with the Muslim world or even starting the Third World War, and that Silverstein, the Jew, insured the buildings for huge sums of money just weeks before the destruction took place, etc. All those conspiracy theories were indeed facts. However, those were not the full story. The full true story would be utterly unbelievable for most people of the world. You would be shell-shocked if you know some of the traits of the Jewish community. Jews never forget and never forgive. You are going to witness the catastrophic manifestation of the trait through the series of videos to follow. Would you believe that 9/11 has relevance to Ramayan War that happened in South India some 7,500 years ago? You would not. That is why I did not publish the English version of my Tamil videos related to 9/11, which I published 9/11 onward last year. My videos on 9/11 could be understood by Tamils and to some lesser extent by other Indians, as most Indians are aware of Ramayan epic. Through my Tamil videos, I proved that Twin Tower carnage was a symbolic revenge by the Jews for killing Rama, the Jew, in Ramayan War. Rama killed in Ramayan War? Yes. Contrary to the portrayal in Sanskrit Ramayan epic that Rama won the Ramayan War, Rama was actually killed in Ramayan War. I had established it with concrete evidence through a series of research videos on Ramayan, the playlist of which is provided in the end screens of this video. Though all of the Tamil followers of my channel agreed that Rama was killed in Ramayan War, they were still skeptical that Jews were carrying out revenge for Ramayan War that happened 7,500 years ago. They were skeptical because it was not humane to take revenge on an event that happened long ago, and hence they thought that my idea was far-fetched. However, as I kept on publishing new evidences on my findings, most of my followers agreed with me. But it awaited a day when everyone agreed to my views, barring none. What was that day? It was November the 9th. As per the Indian date format, this day was also a 9/11. That is, 9/11 as per the American date format is September the 11th, and as per the Indian date format, 9/11 means November the 9th. What happened on that day? Just like the Al-Aqsa Mosque tussle between Jews and Muslims of Palestine, there is also a tussle between the Jewish Brahmins and the Muslims of India. Here, I have to stress an important fact that Indian Jews are called either as Brahmins or as Aryans. Thus, the Brahmins of India are nothing but the Jews. This Brahmin-Muslim tussle is regarding a mosque purported to have been built over a Ram temple. This tussle has been going on for over 170 years. The Supreme Court of India had finally delivered its judgment that Ram temple could be built in the disputed site. It was on November the 9th, the Indian 9/11, that this historic judgment was delivered. What was even more surprising was that the judgment was intentionally delivered at 11 o'clock in the morning. From this event, it is evident that 9/11 is related to Rama, the Jew. Having proved that 9/11 is indeed related to Rama and hence Ramayan War, one of the two numbers should represent Rama and the other his enemy. What is the number that points to Rama, the Jew? It is 9. The fifth month of Jewish liturgical year is called Av and it means father. This father is none other than Rama, who lived 7,500 years ago. In this month, the ninth day is called Tisha B'Av, which means day of sorrow. It points to the day that Rama died in the war, the Ramayan war. Moreover, the birthday of Rama, called Rama Navami, falls in April every year on the ninth day after the new moon. Thus, both by Hebrew calendar and by Indian custom, Rama is related to number 9. That means number 11 should refer to his enemies. Rama's enemy was Ravana, the 10-headed sage. His 10 heads figuratively represent the 10 different arts that he was proficient in. This can be understood by the Lankan depiction of Ravana. He is shown with only 9 heads. However, the 10th head is shown as Veena. Ravana invented Veena, the stringed musical instrument, 7,500 years ago. That is why one of his heads is shown as Veena. From this fact, it is very clear that all his symbolic 10 heads represent 10 different skills he possessed. They were astronomy, medicine, music, etc. He had engineering skill too. That is the reason he had built the first flying machine, the fact which is substantiated by Sanskrit Ramayan epic itself. In fact, all English words related to mechanism originated from Ravana and his son Indra. It was Indra who invented iron-tired spoked wheel for the first time, and that is why he is called Sakra or Saka. Ravana and his son Indra were great Siddhas and hence called Mahan, meaning a great soul. Mahan plus Isam, Mahanism, Mechanism, Mechanism. Here, Isam originated from Iyal, which means idea in Tamil. Thus, mechanism originally meant idea from the great soul. Thus, airplane was first invented jointly by Ravana and his son Indra 7,500 years ago. Though they jointly built an airplane through which they could both ascend the sky, Indra could ascend the sky without the use of an airplane through a supernatural skill called Lehimam. In fact, Indra alone possessed all the 5 supernatural skills of the day and hence was titled as Aindra Siddha, meaning Siddha who possessed 5 skills, which led to his name as Indra. As these 2 gentlemen were the very first to ascend the sky, they were called stars, equating them with the stars of the sky, and this ancient fact was preserved through Pisces zodiac. As a star is called mean, meaning fish in Tamil, the Pisces zodiac, which represent Ravana and Indra, is made of twin fish. As they are represented by twin fish, they are addressed as twins and hence symbolically represented by the number 11 by the Jews. We have just seen that the number 11 represents the twins of the sky called Ravana and Indra. We know that the twin towers are taken as representing 11, as this prediction picture of 911 clearly shows. Thus, the sky-high twin towers indeed represent Ravana and Indra, the sky-born twins. As Indra killed Rama in Ramayan war, shooting arrows from the sky, floating there with his supernatural skill called Lehimam, and as Indra was a star, as described already, the type of war that Indra waged against Rama was called the Star War. Inspired from this historical fact, Isaac Asimov, the Jew, created Star War novels, spinning his wild imaginations. As Indra killed the Jew called Rama in Star Wars style long ago, the twin towers representing Ravana and Indra were built and destroyed by the Jews in Star Wars style purportedly by hitting them with warplanes. We do not know whether passenger planes really hit the towers or made to believe so, but this was the official narrative. We know that 11 represents Ravana and Indra, and that's why the judgment on Ram Janmabhoomi was delivered on 9/11 at 11 a.m. Here, the Muslims are seen as Ravana's people, That is why the judgment was delivered at 11 am. Ravana was originally a mountain man, and Arab Muslims too were originally mountain people, the Western Ghats mountains of South India. That is the reason Muslims were considered as people of Ravana. Having understood the connection of 9/11 with Ramayan War, are you aware of the spectacular event that happens every year on Armistice Day, known in America as Veterans Day? The Great Seal of America is illuminated for 1 minute at 11:11 am on November the 11th in Veterans Park at Anthem in Arizona. Armistice Day is the annual remembrance day of the cessation of hostilities of both World War I and World War II. It is celebrated on the day that the First World War officially ended. The First World War officially ended on the 11th hour, on the 11th day, and on the 11th month in 1918. Why is this particular date and time is all 11? Nothing happens without a reason. We know that 11 represents Ravana and Indra. Does it mean that the First World War was reenactment of ancient Ramayanam war? Yes, indeed. I said that Armistice Day represents cessation of hostilities of both the First and Second World War. That means the Anthem Veterans Park should have symbols to represent both the wars. Illumination at 11th month, 11th day, 11th hour and 11th minute represents the First World War. What is the symbol that represents the Second World War? Look, there are 5 pillars which make up the light window on 11/11 at 11:11 am exactly. Why are there 5 pillars? Though they are said to represent the 5 divisions of US Army and each pillar also being labeled so, the hidden truth about these 5 pillars is quite different. We know that the date and the time, both of which are all 11, represents the First World War. That means, shall the 5 pillars represent the Second World War? Why 5 pillars? Just like Ramayan is represented by 11, which represents the twin enemies of Rama, the Jew, Mahabharata is represented by number 5, which represents the 5 Pandavas, the enemies of Saguni, the Jew. Thus, the 5 pillars of Veterans Park shall represent Mahabharata. That means the Second World War is indeed the reenactment of Mahabharata war. Proving that this is indeed the truth, Pentagon was built to conduct the World War II. That building was not only built in the shape of a pentagon representing number 5, there are also 5 concentric pentagons, each of which representing an individual enemy. The 5-acre inner garden represents Draupadi, the woman character, which actually represents agricultural land in Mahabharata epic. Thus, World War I was reenactment of Ramayan war that happened 7,500 years ago, and the World War II was a reenactment of Mahabharata war that happened 5,100 years ago. Please don't ever think that these 2 wars, Ramayana and Mahabharata, were local wars of a distant land. They had global ramifications not only when they happened but also remain the same even today. Hence, please don't think that my ideas are far-fetched. They are not far-fetched because I shall prove that our lives are eternally intertwined with the fallouts of those 2 huge wars. How? In numerous ways. For now, I would mention just one instance of it. Do you know that all the key words related to judiciary originated from Mahabharata war that happened 5,100 years ago? Judge, law, court, bar, bar council, barrister, or any single legal term that you think of originated from Mahabharata epic. You might be stunned by this revelation, but it is true. You shall instantly agree with me if I reveal the true identity of the Lady of Justice. This Lady of Justice represents Gandhari, the Jewish woman of Mahabharata. She was the wife of Saguni the Jew. Just like biblical Abraham, he married her to Dhritarashtra, the mountain king of South India, claiming that she was his sister. As the gift of the marriage, Sagni owned the iron smelting factory that Dhritarashtra owned. This new relationship also helped Sagni to engineer the Mahabharata war with the help of Dhritarashtra aimed at destroying both the sides. As per the Sanskrit Mahabharata epic, Gandhari was blindfolded by her own want and hence she was practically blind, choosing not to see the injustice that her ex-husband was perpetrating on the foreign soil. That is what is exactly happening in the courts all over the world even today, as judiciary is controlled by the Jews. Judah, judiciary. The Lady of Justice, who is blindfolded, indirectly means that you won't get justice from the judiciary. What I am saying shall be proven by another depiction of the Lady of Justice. In this another depiction, instead of looking at the balance, she is looking elsewhere. The meanings of these two depictions are that either I will be blind to the truth or I shall look elsewhere when injustice is delivered. This is the hidden message that the Lady of Justice is conveying to us. Have you ever considered her in this perspective? The Gemini zodiac actually represents Dhritarashtra Sagni duo of Mahabharata. Thus, the ancient history of South India and Lanka is actually driving the current events of the world. You shouldn't be surprised that even the coronavirus was created by the Jews in the name of their enemy Ravana. Do you know that vast majority of Hollywood movies are made using either the history of Tamils or the gods of Tamils? Do you know that the movie Lion King encodes the ancient Indian history? Do you know that Harry Potter represents Vishnu, the Tamil god, directly, and Saguni of Mahabharata indirectly? Do you know that the series of 7 Harry Potter novels represent the 7 Kundalini chakras? Stay tuned to my channel. Watch all the English videos without fail. You shall then understand the current events of the world and plan for the remedies.